Hey folks, time for the second edition of To the Garage with I'm calling this the Resurrection Edition. Stick around. Alright, so welcome to the Garage with number two. I'm calling this one the Resurrection Edition because this is the first time in a long, long time I've actually gone through my garage and actually seen what I have. Now that I'm an old ass man, I kind of am recognizing that, you know, my tastes change throughout the years. So, some records I'm just not going to like. I could live to be a million years old. I'm not going to like them. But some records, you can come around. You can come around later. And this is probably going to be like a one-time thing, although there were a couple of other records I may pull later. Not all these are destined for the collection, but I just thought I'd put them in rotation and kind of see, if I want them to stay there. So let's go ahead. Found this one in the crate, Quiet Fire, Roberta Flack. It's got Will You Still Love Me Tomorrow, To Love Somebody, Bridge Over Troubled Water. I recently kind of rediscovered the Flack. I got her album from 1969 entitled First Take. And I was going on this basis that the side two was one of the best sides of a record I'd ever heard. Then I realized I was totally wrong. It was not really the case. Just that the first song on that side, which is Hey, That's No Way to Say Goodbye, a Leonard Cohen song, and then The First Time Ever I Saw Your Face. Those two songs are just like two of like the best songs ever, back to back. But then unfortunately what you're dealing with is, not as good stuff after that. Anyway, really kind of psyched to hear this one. I was thinking about buying this one anyway, and I already have it. Apparently I bought it a long time ago. Another I bought a long time ago tip. This has got a couple of records in it. This isn't a double LP. Is it? No. Oh, okay. This is bringing back some memories, y'all. This is Candy. Candy Staten I believe it's on Warner Brothers Records. She recorded like 2 or 3 albums for Fame Records initially. Muscle Shoals. Really good singer. She actually, one of her, like a compilation of her Fame stuff, I actually have on a place I call the Soul Wall in the old place. But anyway, at any rate, this was not a big success. It was supposed to be huge because, she was moving on to a major label and great singer, obviously beautiful woman. But I don't think it ever really happened for her. It happened for her later in the disco period. She had a few hits, but I think they were kind of expecting more. Anyway, I'm excited to hear this one. I've not played this one. I actually was just listening to her Stand By Your Man LP, like 70, 69 or something. Very good. Great singer. I did a double album thing a little while ago, and I knew I had Songs in the Key of Life. This is it. Got the big gatefold, Stevie looking cool, and some kind of a hole. It's a hole, friend, or a cave, or I'm not sure. It's anyway. I'm excited to actually hear this one too. Believe it or not, because again, I do feel like you don't get things all at once. Sometimes you have to get a little older before you like something. I'm kind of hoping that that's the case with this. Gladys Knight and the Pips. All I Need Is Time. Wow, Gladys had a billion albums in the 70s, particularly, on Motown, but then I forget if she was on Buddha afterwards. I'm not sure. Anyway, this is one of her Motown albums. I don't know that it's going to be that great. I do have Ovation, also on the Soul Wall. This is like... Ovation is just great. This one is probably good. A lot of the material around then was very good that she was doing, so cool. Another double album here. This is a living word. This is Watt Stacks. which, yeah, I'm kind of excited. This is a big listen. I think this is like really cool though. Watt Stacks, of course, was Black America's answer to Woodstock. It took place in Watts, sponsored by Stax Records. Anyway, this is an interesting record. Anyway, it's got singers, it's got Richard Pryor, it's got a bunch of cool stuff on it. But anyway, I thought I'd fish it out the garage to give it a listen. Apparently, at one point, I got this for $2. So, what would a edition of the vinyl record player be without a Jerry Butler record of some kind? Yeah. I almost bought one of these the other. This is his early hits. This would be like his hits on VJ records, like back when, he was basically, he always gets called like a member of the Impressions, but I don't even think he ever really was a member of the Impressions. They just did For Your Precious Love, and then he was like, all right, I'm out of here. But anyway, I figured these are his early things. I'm not as into the early 60s kind of soul as I am like, early 70s, even late 60s. But I think it's worth a listen. Here's another one. Chairman of the Board, In Session. This one has Pay to the Piper on it. But I remember listening to this and being like, I don't love this record. I feel like I could probably give it another listen and see. So we're gonna see. Anyway, Chairman of the Board. What's this? Oh, we've got some old school pictures. Another double album. I bought this a long time ago. Obviously kind of epic. Oh, look at this gatefold too. That's a beauty right there. Woo. Anyway, it's a little soundtracky. I don't love like scores and stuff like that. And this, I kind of just wanted to hear again, kind of on LP, and I have it, so I just pulled it out of the garage. Saw this album actually on John, the 6-inch pianist, his high quality stream. He's 6-inch pianist 319, I think. Anyway, subscribe to him if you haven't already. Here, my dear. This is, of course, the infamous album that Marvin Gaye's going through a divorce. The judge is like, "Yo, you got to give the royalties to your wife." He's like, "Okay." So then he goes and he writes an album basically about them, and maybe not super flattering. Maybe he's kind of angry about the whole deal. Maybe he puts it all onto a record. Anyway, I had forgotten that I actually had this on LP. This is a double L album. I'm starting to wonder if maybe I was too premature on the assessing the greatest soul double albums ever. I'm actually excited to hear this one again. Same man, different time, different vibe. I forgot that I'd had this one too. Marvin Gaye live at the London Palladium. This one's from '73. Look at the great classic picks there. I don't know. I love live albums. I think they're kind of fun, and I'm sure this one's good. This one looks like I actually bought this one like newer. It is finished. Nina Simone from 1974. It's got a cover of The Pusher. I want a little sugar in my bowl. So yeah, I remember having this. I don't know why, and it's even still got the shrink on it. So this is an old ass purchase. Oh, another one I was just looking at the other day because somebody had mentioned it, and then I listened to the album and I was like, this is pretty good. Look at that, Billy Paul. Me and Mrs. Jones. Could be in better condition, I would say. Wow. But whatever the case, I didn't even know that I bought this, but cool. I'm excited. Billy Paul, obviously, Gamble and Huff. Me and Mrs. Jones. Yeah, I think this is a good record. Going back into like some real old school, I would have bought this like, this is New Order. Low Life. This was one of my favorite compact discs when I was like a kid in the 80s. I remember there was a store we went to, and it was in BC and British Columbia for those more geographically uninclined. And back then they had like this store that would rent you compact discs, and I remember having a cassette tape and taping Low Life and being like, oh, I can't believe I got that Low Life on cassette. That's great. Anyway, at some point I must have bought it on LP, so this will be fun. And this is a bonus nostalgia cut. Oh, is that Soul to Soul with Back to Life, the club mix? I'm telling a story here. So I was like really into hip hop. I think that's part of the reason why I'm really into soul now, because basically all hip hop at, kind of the golden era period when I was into it, like the late 80s, early 90s, that was all samples from like 70s and 60s soul music, basically. So now I'm kind of going back and finding the samples and being like, well, the songs are actually great too. At any rate, this was obviously Soul to Soul from their first LP. They had Keep On Moving, I believe was the name of the LP. I believe I had that on cassette. But this was one of the first 12 inches I bought, because I remember buying the cassette and being like, oh, can't wait for that hot jam that was Back to Life. And by that point, they had already had the video and stuff. And I was like, oh, this is going to be great. And then I put the cassette on, and I'm like, a cappella version? But where's the funky beats? Where's the funky beats? There were no funky beats, which meant you basically had to buy this thing. So I was all proud. I was like, oh my God, okay, I got to buy this. Because frankly, I was pissed off. Because I'm like, a cappella, I am here for the beats. Jazzy B and co. So yeah, anyway, this one probably won't even stay in the collection. But I figured, check out some of those fat 12-inch grooves with, let's call this a classic. I would call it a 90s classic of kind of hip-hop soul. Great record. Yeah, see, a little on the back. There's the LP, which I had and was, again, I don't want to say enraged. I wasn't happy. But club mix. Soul to Soul. That's it. This has been a To the Garage with You, your resurrection edition. Again, not all these are going to stay in the collection, but wow, I was a little bit surprised myself. It's been years since I actually looked through what I have at the garage, and I'm like, oh, I got some stuff that I actually still love. So anyway, that's why I don't throw out records. At any rate, like, subscribe if you're still hanging around. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you next time.